Talk to Laura Farris. And Laura is the Parliamentary Under Secretary of State at the Home Office and Ministry of Justice. Laura, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good, you can hear us loud and clear. Sorry it's raining, but thanks for putting up with this. This is a very, very important message that you've got today, and this is about domestic violence and people who kill through sexual violence. You want how they're punished, you want that made tougher. Tell us more.
So we're changing the law today to ensure that people who kill their partner through abusive or dangerous or degrading forms of sexual conduct get tougher sentences than ever before.
I'm sure that's going to be welcomed across the board, that we're going to see tougher sentences in these situations. Is something going to be done as well about the unprecedented backlog in these cases in Britain's courts? Because in order for someone to be sentenced, these cases do need to be heard in a court, and it's an average 2-year wait for rape victims to hear their cases in a court, if they get there at all.
Well, yes, look, we are very focused on the court backlogs, but it is just worth saying one of the reasons, or the reason why we have the serious backlogs is because of COVID, because we took the difficult decision to keep going with jury trials throughout the pandemic, because we saw that as the cornerstone of the right to a fair trial. And if you look, 90% of all criminal cases are actually dealt with in the magistrates' court, where we've almost completely eliminated the backlog. In the Crown Court, yes, there is a backlog, but it's stabilised now, and we're doing everything we can to bring it down. So first, we're well on track to recruiting 1,000 additional judges. Second thing we're doing is we've kept over 24 Nightingale courts. You'll recall they were the emergency courts that were open during the pandemic, so that we have extra capacity in the system. We had 100,000 sitting hours last year. That was the highest on record. And the third thing we're doing is we're giving extra financial support to the solicitors and barristers who appear in these cases, who prosecute and defend. We've given them a 15% increase in their fees. That's up to 144 million extra in the legal aid system. So all of this is designed to improve throughput through the system and to get the backlog down to where it was before the pandemic.
So Laura, what's pushing you to take this sort of action? I thought, I know there has been government action on this before, which seems to be bearing fruit, but obviously this is still an area of concern to you.
Yeah, let me explain why we're doing this. There's been, since I've been an MP, but also in the years leading up to 2019 when I was first elected, there were a number of quite high-profile cases where the victim, in fact always a woman in those cases, was killed by her partner either through, for example, violent beating or quite frequently strangulation, where she would die and he would say at the end, it was all a terrible accident. In fact, she wanted me to do it. And they would end up in some cases with a derisory sentence based on the fact that they hadn't intended to do it and they didn't mean that level of harm. And we actually, when we passed the Domestic Abuse Act in 2021, we created a new offence of non-fatal strangulation that carried a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. And in one of these cases, the person killed his partner, but he got 4 years and 8 months. So he got less for fatal strangulation than the law permits for non-fatal strangulation. And I was gravely worried about that. And in fact, this comes from the back of a private member's bill that I introduced when I was a backbencher, because I thought that in this really serious, very gender-specific area of offending, we weren't punishing perpetrators seriously enough. And now they'll get tougher sentences than ever before.
Well, look, good luck to you. Very interesting to hear about that. Anything we can do this end to help, please just get in touch. Laura Farris, lovely talking to you.